Hello guys, welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial, we are going to see what a left outer join. A left outer join return all rows from the left table even there is no matches in the right table. And it also means if the on clause matches 0 records in the right table, the join will return a row in the result set but with null values in each column. The statement looks a little bit complicated, but it's very simple when we walk through it with an example. So I've represented left outer join using a Venn diagram. So you have two tables here. You do join always with two tables. There could be only two tables when you do a join. And in this case, table A is called the left table and table B is called your right table. And what left outer join does is it picks all the rows from your left table, which is table A. So let's walk through a very simple funny example. So we have two tables. One is a boys table and other one is a girls table. In the boys table, we'll list all the boys, the boy's ID, first name, last name. And in the girls table, we have similar information, the ID for a girl, the girl first name and the girl last name. Between these two tables, there is a relationship. That is, if a boy has a girlfriend, then his ID is populated in the girls table. So in this case, when you see John White, he is not really a great guy. The reason is he has two girlfriends. One is Tiffany Gray and other one is Lisa Taylor. The second guy, Scott Mitchell, he is a poor guy. The reason is he doesn't have any of a girlfriend and you don't see any rows in the girls table. And then we have our good guy, Ramesh Gandhi, who just has one girlfriend called Michelle Grant. And similarly, in the girls table, we have a girl called Serena Hines who doesn't have any boyfriend. So the ID boys field is set to null. So what happens in case of left outer join? When you write a left outer join, this table, the boys table, will be considered as your first table and the girls table will be considered as your right table. This can be interchangeable and I will explain you when I write the queries. So now when you do a left outer join between this left table, the boys table and the girls table, what you will get is you will get a result set that gives you all the rows from the boys table. So you have 3 rows in the boys table, and apart from that you can also pull the related information for each of the boys from the girls table. Let's go to our SQL workbench and write a simple query. So here is my query, but let's write it from the scratch. So we have these tables being populated with the values as you see in the presentation. You have all the 3 rows in the boys table, then you have 4 rows in the girls table. Now let's go on write our query. So how do you write your left outer join? The first thing, the query syntax is you give a select keyword, then give star. For now let's keep it as star. From you give your left table name. In our case the left table name is test.boys. I always use a alias to write my query simple, and then what you do is you give this keyword called left outer join. So you have given your left table and you have given your keyword left outer join, and then you give your right table, which is test.girls tb2. And when you do a join, you always do on a on clause. That is, a column you do on a column which is present on both the tables. In this case, we have one column which is present on both the tables, which and also relates both these tables. The field name is id boys. So we have the same field called id boys in our second table as well. So that's it. We have our left outer join query, and so when you execute it, you should see the result. Okay, here is the result set. So what this query did was it gave all the rows from your left table. So we had John in the left table, we had Ramesh in the left table, and we had Scott in the left table, and it also gives any matching information on our on predicate. For example, John had 2 girlfriends, so it picked 2 rows from the right table, which is our girls table. And other thing to notice is Scott Michael. If you notice Scott, he never had a girlfriend. So you can see Scott just in the boys table and he never had a girlfriend. But if you see the information that's pulled from the right table, it will all be null. So you see the id girlfriends, id boys, the girl first name and the girl last name, it's all null for Scott Michael. So in summary, this is what the left outer join does. As we see in our definition, it returns all the rows from the left table, which is our boys table, even if there is no matches in the right table. So when didn't we have a match? It's what Scott Michael. So we got Scott Michael from our left table, and the next statement is if the on clause matches 0 records in the right table, the join will still return a row for Michael, Scott Michael, in the result set, but with null values in each column. So if we notice here, we got all the information from the right table, but each of the columns are populated with a null value. That's it, guys. This is what is a left outer join. Hope it's much clear now, and you can watch my other videos. Thank you. Bye bye.